objects.
Really?
Green
put it up against another.
And then,
Yeah, I remember.
It's not even the shape.
negative.
Mentally ill.
Did a special effects agency. All right, we are back here, Ethan Clerc podcast show. Great to be back here in the attic. It's a little hot up here, but we're gonna bear through it. It's a little hot as usual. It's always hot up here.
It is.
Colin Clerc producing this episode. Thank you, Colin, for doing that. This week,
Always good to be here.
yeah, this week on the show, we have a requested guest, actually, and it was somebody on Reddit that had told me about you, Fritz. And so today on the show, Fritz Busch from Sleepy Eye. And Fritz, you just want to talk about a little bit your story, what you do, and how you kind of got into journalism.
Yeah, well, I'm a journalist at the New Ulm Journal. I write and I take pictures. I've been there since 2000, but I've worked at a few different places. Got into journalism junior high in New Ulm. I wrote for the school newspaper, and that's where it started. And that was a good experience. Went to high school in Fairfax, continued it there, and had a real interest in sports when I was younger. Covered sports in the high school level for the high school paper in Fairfax, and went to junior college in Wilmer and worked for the West Central Daily Tribune in Wilmer, which was in its day covered a huge area, West Central Minnesota, all the way to the South Dakota line almost. Anyway, covered sports there, and went to junior college, graduated, came to Mankato here and worked at the Journal part-time, and kind of took a zigzag tour from there. I didn't finish at Mankato State. I went in the Navy and at 24, and they were full of journalists for regular Navy at that time, so they wanted me to be a nuke, an ET nuke.
E.T. Nuke.
A nuclear trainee, a nuclear powered trainee.
Really?
Yes, because I had a high test scores.
Oh.
And it was a recruiter filling a quota because they have a hard time finding them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not as everybody can do that.
Yeah.
So anyway, I did that for a while. Didn't have the background in electronics at all, really. It was their idea. Not mine.
Yeah. You just said, I'll do it. I'm
They
in.
flash all the stuff in front of you. Oh, you'll make chief in 7 years. You'll get all these bonuses, and you can go work at a nuclear power plant and make a lot of money.
Really?
Well, that's all true if you do.
Yeah.
You want to.
If you finish, yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, and they cram, in 18 months, you become a nuclear power operator. And they really cram it down you.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Wow.
but I didn't have the background in it, really, that I needed.
But you were doing journalism in the military.
But I wound up, I did 10 years regular Navy.
Navy, okay.
Went to the USS Lexington in Pensacola, Florida, which will lead to another UFO story.
There we go.
That's really quite intriguing.
Yeah, well, here's the big question, because you're into journalism. When did you find yourself getting into UFOs? Or what led you down that
I had
path?
seen, when I was a young boy, I'd seen shooting stars, I think, is what they were. But I really wasn't sure, but I think that's what I saw. And then in the 60s, right around this time where this UFO was seen by St. George, I saw some lights in the sky while I was watching a high school football game in New Ulm. And it stopped, and then it moved and stopped, and there were other people at this game that saw it and told the policeman. There was a policeman at the game.
Really?
Pointing to him, and he,
You were at the New Ulm Journal at this time working.
No, I was in junior high school at this time.
Oh, you were? Okay, so
Yeah.
this is okay.
Couldn't really describe what that was. Really didn't know. But it moved and it stopped. It was suspicious,
Yeah.
intriguing. Anyway, but I didn't take it any further. I went to junior college in Wilmer, wrote sports. Back when they were doing letterpress, they were melting lead. They were
Really?
the last papers in the country to
Yeah.
go offset press. They
That's
were melting lead in the
crazy.
70s.
Wow.
So it was really like walking into a museum.
I didn't know they did that until the 70s.
Well, they did there.
They kept it old fashioned.
That's what they.
Wow.
That's the way the owner was. That wanted, they had a guy that had been there his whole life, and
Yeah.
he was an older gentleman, but
Huh.
anyway, there were some good things about it. They gave you a bonus. That's the only Christmas bonus I ever got.
Really?
As a journalist, was in Wilmer. Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
And
So journalists are underpaid is what we're hearing here.
A journalist learns how to make do with not very much.
Yeah. You
Yes.
got to get creative.
You were at the bottom of the pay scale, just about.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, I made the little go a long ways. Is basically what I did. Yeah.
That's a
You
good
shop
life
at
skill, though. That's a good life skill to
yes,
have.
you work at you shop at secondhand stores and
Mm-hmm.
discount stores, and
Yep.
yeah, I remember buying a box of macaroni and cheese for 8 cents at a no-name store in Wilmer.
Wow.
Yeah,
8 cents.
that was in the mid-'70s.
You can't get much
can't do
anything
that anymore.
You can't get
No.
much anything for 10
No.
or 8 cents
No.
nowadays.
No.
That's crazy.
No, but anyway, what Wilmer was really known for, especially if you're a woman and women's rights, the Wilmer 8. It was a federal case. Wilmer, it was a bank in Wilmer. Women claimed they were discriminated against. They struck for a year,
Really?
and they were outside picketing. And they did in the wintertime, 30 below. They're out.
Wow.
Anyway, everybody in the media world comes there.
They're not used to the weather.
Right. And the New York Times was there. Washington
Wow.
Post, ABC, CBS, NBC, they were all there.
What year is this?
This was in the late 70s. This was
The Wilmer 8 has-
77 and 8.
77. I can
78,
pull something
9,
up about
something
it.
like that. The
That's-
Wilmer 8, and it was a federal case, and these women won. They went to federal court.
They sued the bank.
Yes. For
Really?
discrimination, sexual discrimination.
Wow.
And they won.
Wilmer 8, yeah, 8 female employees of the Citizens National Bank in Wilmer, Minnesota, USA, who went on strike in 1977 over charges of sex discrimination. Wow, I've never heard about this before.
And very few people probably have, other than people around Wilmer.
Wow,
We didn't do a lot with it at the paper. It was rather irritating to me.
you didn't
I
report
was pulling
much
my
on it.
hair out.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow,
They did. I don't know. It was about advertising, and they didn't do much with it.
interesting. Especially if you have the New York Times there, you
Everybody's
have everybody
the Star
there.
Tribune,
Yeah, and they don't cover it.
Chicago.
Really?
paper was
National
there.
news.
Well, this was big time national news.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow. So at this point, you're
Don Shelby probably knows about it. If you
Don
ever-
Shelby.
Remember that WCCO guy that's on radio, public TV?
No, I don't think I heard of Don Shelby.
He would remember it, I bet.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you're at Wilmer at this point.
Yeah.
And when about the first time that you had heard of something in the area that caught your interest about UFOs? You know, when was that?
Nothing there really. It's the first. Well, chronologically, we jump to when I'm through. Well, first in my life when I really got into UFOs was when I went in the Navy. I went to Pensacola, and there was this story about the Gulf Breeze sightings. And if you're following UFOs,
Gulf Breeze sightings.
you know about the Gulf Breeze sightings.
I try to, but there's so many. It seems like it's hard to keep
This was in
up.
1987. This guy claimed, the local contractor claimed to show a UFO, had video of it, and he had a story that he was I think he and another guy were abducted, went up in the spacecraft, and then came back.
When they got taken up. into it.
He said this, yes. And the
Really?
Pensacola News Journal, which was their newspaper, and I worked there part-time.
Wow. Is this the picture right here that we're pulling up? You see that? Is that the? I looked up Gulf
Is it
Breeze.
Gulf Breeze?
Yep. Wow,
That's one picture. I don't know if that's the one he made.
that's a pretty clear picture. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
That's weird.
You could look this up and find out all kinds of things about it. Anyway, long story short, a couple years later, the guy that helped him make a video confesses and says that it was made with styrofoam and a PVC pipe and a flashlight.
Oh, so they made the thing.
Yes, but the newspaper bought the story. It was all over the newspaper down there. And it was
Wow.
on top of the front page. They had mutual UFO conventions, national ones there. There were people out looking for UFOs on this 3-mile bridge over Pensacola Bay.
Really?
looking for more UFOs.
All because this guy
Because
did
of
this
this story.
prank.
Yeah, and he wrote a
Wow.
book and all this, and he made a lot of money. But
You remember that this happened? This is pretty recent. There was that family, and they said that the boy had climbed into this weather balloon, and it was flying. You remember this? It made national news.
a little bit.
That was
Not-
quite a
not-
few years back.
It was probably 7-8 years ago, but they were lying the entire time, and it was a whole thing just to get money. So I'm curious as to if there are more people that do this kind of stuff just to make money off of it.
Well, sure, it could be.
There's always somebody like that.
I wouldn't say it all happens often, but it does happen.
Yeah, you always get those people.
But you can look this up online and find out the story. I won't get into everything. But
I've never heard about that. That's crazy.
Yeah. Anyway.
Here's the book right here, by the way. I found it. The Gulf Breeze Sightings.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it looks fairly real if you look at parts of it. But anyway,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
Anyway, then I'm at the Journal. After I got out of the Navy, went to Gulf War I, retired Navy reservist. But anyway, I'm back at the Noam Journal. We're working at it a second time. About 20 years ago, 15, 20 years ago, I come across this story from 1965. A guy by the name of Arthur Strock, I believe I'm saying it right.
Arthur Strock.
A Sibley County deputy sheriff and his wife, Catherine, their boy, and a few other people were in the car and returned to their homes near Gibbon from a bull hunting trip. And the sun had just set and the sky was clear. The moon had not risen. Venus was clearly visible in the southeast. I'm reading this story. They were 2 miles west and 2 miles north of St. George. It's a small community with a big Catholic church.
This is northern Minnesota?
No, this is in Nicollet County.
Oh, Nicollet
just
County.
North of Noam, about
Also, this is really close.
7 miles.
I've never heard of St. George before.
Yeah, a little teeny place.
Huh. Wow.
There's a few houses there and a Catholic church. And it used to be a general store a long
Just
time
a real
ago.
small town.
Real small.
Yeah.
Still there, though.
Yeah.
Still surviving.
So
People there call it the Holy Land.
the Holy Land, really? Huh.
Yeah.
Doesn't have anything to do with UFOs or anything.
No. No, but anyway, then Arthur, the deputy, was the first to spot a strange object, seemed to be 2,000 feet above the ground, a quarter mile away in the northwest. He watched it for about 10 minutes from the car. The group drove down a road about a half mile and stopped. And they went out and took pictures of it with a Kodak Instamatic, I believe it was. And I've got pictures.
You got the pictures.
That's a greatly enlarged picture.
Wow. Yeah, if you want to hold that up to this camera right here.
I could see it
You
pretty
see
good.
it?
Yeah.
Okay?
Wow. This is 2,000 feet in the air?
Yeah.
Really?
This has been enlarged a lot.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is weird.
Yeah.
That is wild.
Yep.
And there was multiple people there that saw it,
Yes.
that claimed that
Yes.
they actually saw it.
Yes.
Really?
Not too many alive anymore.
Wow.
There's
And
one,
see,
one I know, but she doesn't want to talk about it.
really?
That's right.
There's one, or I saw your article online,
This is
but
just drawing.
okay, of what they think that was.
Yeah.
Okay.
What it looked like to them.
Wow. I saw your article, but I didn't see the picture. So is this like a exclusive thing?
Well, yeah, this is from a really came from the Air Force report.
Really?
They got extensive files. You could look them up online.
So they had to come and do a full.
Well, no, he sent all this stuff.
Okay.
Art Strock sent the report to the Air Force. I'm sure they probably corresponded with him.
To do an investigation or figure out.
Yeah, they came
if
out
it
with a
was-
lot of papers and papers of it.
Really?
Pages and pages of stuff on it.
Did they find out any information about what it could have been, or if it was
Well,
military testing? Or
They didn't really say a whole lot.
Really?
But first they heard no sound. Then the object flew over them. One of the people described it as a whistling whine. Strock called it a high-pitched whining sound made like an electric motor starting up. Then Strock from the car snapped a photograph, used a Kodak Instamatic 804 with Extrachrome X color slide film,
really?
which would get pretty good dense film. The slide film is pretty dense, which was good film at that day. At that point, 1/60th of a second was the shutter speed. Not the best
No.
shutter speed, but he did well to get that picture.
That is, yeah. And what I was gonna say is, I've heard that older pictures are actually better if they're taken on film because you can blow them up and get way more
Yes.
detail than
Yes.
modern pictures.
Yes.
So that's crazy that he got that clear of a picture.
The object moved into the wind, appeared to be several hundred feet, stopped for a few seconds, which time its lights changed from a bright white to a dull orange, alternating several times. It then moved toward the southeast at a high rate of speed and then disappeared.
Really?
Yeah, so
Wow.
it's quite abnormal, I would say.
That is nuts.
Yeah, testimony that witnesses differ only in minor details.
Was there more people than that group that saw it, or were they the only?
There was some other people by Klossner, a little town to the east,
Okay.
that claimed they saw it too.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
So they weren't the only people.
That really supports it then. If you have two groups of
Yes.
people, two parties that are separate that
Yes.
don't even know each other,
Right.
and they both claim they saw it,
Right.
that really backs it up.
What what year was that? 1965.
Yes.
Wow.
What year did you hear about it?
I didn't hear a lot about it then. I found a story looking through the old newspapers. The New Ulm Journal, most newspapers have files, records of every
You can go
newspaper they
back
ever
and
made.
wow.
They're in a book. They're in bound volumes.
They should put that stuff online so that people can go
Well,
back and take forever.
It'd be hard.
Yeah, take a long time.
It's a lot of scanning.
Wow. So you heard about the story. You wanted to bring some light to it. So
Right.
then you wrote about this, and
Right.
you said 77? Or when was this article written?
The article I wrote about
Yeah,
it,
the article you wrote.
that would have been about 15 years ago.
Oh, 15 years ago. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. And did you talk to anybody?
I talked to one lady that I knew that was there. She didn't want to talk about
She didn't want to talk about
it.
it.
I'll honor that.
Did
Yeah.
she give you a reason why, or it's
I'm scared to live in tar out of her is what I'm
yeah?
thinking.
Yeah.
She was young then.
Yeah.
She was a child.
Wow.
She's probably maybe quite shook by it.
Yeah.
And
Oh, for sure.
what child wouldn't be?
Yeah. Did they have any damage, or did anything happen to them, like physically?
No.
It was just, so it wasn't like, because I looked up, it wasn't like the Val Jones incident then, where there was.
The Val Johnson?
Or the Val Johnson,
Yeah.
yep.
Yeah, I've got that one too.
Oh, really? Did you write about this one?
Well, I added it to the story, but just briefly, but I got some stuff about it. About Val Johnson.
Val Johnson. I had Val. I don't even know why I put Val.
He was on
Jones.
TV was it Merv Griffith?
I saw that they did a bunch. He was on Good Morning America.
Yeah, Good Morning America was the main one.
Yeah, and he was getting so many phone calls that he said he didn't want to talk about it
he
anymore.
probably
Is what I heard.
He probably burned out on it.
Yeah.
He probably had no privacy. But this was up in Marshall County, up near Warren, Minnesota.
So this is northern Minnesota. Though.
Yes, this is northwest corner, almost in Canada.
Wow.
Okay. One of the most baffling paranormal experiences ever reported was the Val Johnson UFO incident. It took place August 27th, 1979, between 1 and 2 in the morning. What makes it so puzzling is the strange physical evidence left behind and the dependability of the reputable deputy sheriff.
Yeah. Because you're counting on one person here to have the
Right.
whole story. Well, but what he does have is the evidence of the car.
Yes.
The police car, which I
Yes.
have right here.
Yes.
Which is apparently still in their museum up
Yes. It will be for perpetuity, I would say.
there. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And there was, I think there was a picture there of the windshield. It was smashed and the antennas were bent.
Yeah.
If you want to talk a little bit about what happened though during that incident.
Yeah, the incident started when he noticed an extremely bright light coming from the side window of his patrol car. He reported that the light was much stronger than any light a motor vehicle on the road could produce. He first thought it could be potentially an airplane smuggling drugs from Canada. He surmised the plane may have crashed or was about to crash. He turned on the road to move in close and head toward the light. Last thing he remembered was the light came barreling toward him, reached the patrol car so fast it seemed like it happened in an instant.
Wow.
He heard glass breaking, and then he went unconscious. He estimated he was unconscious for 39 minutes.
Wow. That's nuts.
Well, yeah, I mean...
But his watch was behind, right?
Yeah,
And the car clock.
yeah,
That's the crazy part. 14 minutes behind is what I read.
yeah.
That's nuts.
And when he awoke, he radioed headquarters for help, and a weak voice said something hit his patrol car, but he did not know what. That's what he said. And then second deputy arrived on scene and immediately called an ambulance, and he was taken to the hospital. His eyes were red and puffy. He was examined. His eyes looked like they'd been inflicted by welder's torch. That's a type of burn, I think.
Yeah.
And he was in a state of shock.
And the car went in the ditch, right? If I remember right.
I think so.
Wow.
Yeah, they did an investigation of the Marshall County Sheriff's Department. Experts brought in, but the physical evidence was baffling. The windshield of the patrol car was badly cracked from top to bottom. The patterns for which it broke defied normal analysis. It must have been irregular or something.
Yeah.
Did not seem to be the result of outside forces or inside forces. It seemed as if there were both inside and outside forces working at the same time to create a fracture pattern that the investigators had never seen before or could explain with ordinary techniques. He concluded there were 4 separate areas of impact, but could not even hazard a guess to what caused it.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And the tough thing with this one is that people I've heard I've looked at a lot of things about people going back and forth with it. People saying that he did it, and people saying that he that it was really happened. But the sheriff kind of maintains that there was an unidentified flying object. They have no idea what it was, and they believe him that it was something actually hit his car. Whether it was an alien or whatever, it was something that they don't know.
I'm thinking it's some force, maybe electromagnetic field that's really high powered.
Really?
That's what I'm thinking.
Wow.
Okay, I should mention that the Forum News Service, Fargo Forum, did a story on this, published August 27th, 2019.
Oh, really?
It was updated August 27th. Yes.
So there's still
interested in it. They're still writing about it.
And I've heard that this is one of the top 10 UFO encounters because of the vehicle evidence.
Yeah.
They have this actual evidence here.
Yeah, bent antennas, shattered windshield. I mean,
the clock's backwards. That's weird.
Yeah. The burns on his eyes.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how. That's the only thing. How do you fake the burns on your eyes?
I don't think so.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
So my question to you then, Fritz, is after reviewing these stories, where do you stand on UFOs? After writing about them and doing research and everything, what's your opinion on this? Being a journalist,
there's something out there.
You think there's something out there?
Sure.
You can't explain it.
Right.
It's something.
Right.
Huh.
It has to be.
Yeah. Yeah. It's such a huge universe.
Yeah.
It's a huge universe.
Yeah. There's other planets with a lot of things like Earth.
Yeah. You don't believe in little green guys running around though?
Well, I haven't seen that yet.
Yeah, true. Have you seen the new footage from the Pentagon that they declassified of them following that super fast object? Have you seen that? The Pentagon. Oh my gosh, you got to see this footage. It's like the first time the government has came forward and actually, as far as I'm concerned, brought forward footage that does not appear to be anything, and they have no idea what it is. Let me pull this up here. Here it is right here, Fritz, on the screen, if you can see that. So the Navy or the military here is tracking, Air Force, whatever, is tracking this object, and it's moving at an unbelievably fast speed, and they can't, and this is U.S. government footage, you know? This is not just somebody taking video.
Yep.
And then at the end of the video, it disappears. It takes off at an unbelievably fast speed. They can't keep up with it.
Well, okay. One other thing I want to mention, kind of related to this, it's not really UFOs, but there's a story I wrote, and you could look it up online. It's about a B-47, I believe it was, that crashed near Comfrey, Minnesota in 1963 in the wintertime.
A B-47?
A jet.
Really?
A bomber on a practice run, real low elevation. And they had a lot of problems with these jets. And it crashed out in the country, and there's a site there you can go see it, and there's
really
there's a memorial for it.
Huh? I had never heard about that. Was it how did you know how they know how it crashed at all?
Engine failed, I believe.
Really interesting.
And exploded.
Wow.
Nobody survived.
How many people were?
Handful, 3, 4. Something like that.
Oh, so it was bigger.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm gonna have to look up a B-47 here so we have some context of what
Comfrey,
it looks
Minnesota
like.
crash.
Comfrey, Minnesota.
Bomber crash.
Oh, so here's the site. Okay.
Yeah.
So, wow. It was in 1963, you said?
Yes.
So what? Look, that's the plane right there.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow. That is nuts. And it just crashed into a field?
Yep. It's north of Comfrey.
Wow. I didn't know. I didn't know a lot of this stuff happened.
A little town of about 400 in southwestern Brown County.
Yeah, I know Comfrey because our uncle used to live there.
Okay.
That's crazy. I didn't know that there was this much stuff going on around here.
With some information kiosks in it. You can find it.
Have to check that out.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Are there any more UFO things that you've heard of around this area? Nothing else? Nothing around Cato? I feel like I've heard something about, I don't remember if it was Michael Cimino, because we've had Mike Cimino on, who's part of MUFON.
Yeah.
And he was telling us about some stuff that happened locally. I can't remember all the details about it. We've had him on twice.
Okay.
It's always interesting to me, though, to hear about this stuff, because a lot of people seem not even to think about it, that there's weird things going on, you know, government testing, stuff like that people don't know about.
Yep.
Do you think that some of these occurrences, you know, that are happening around like Nevada, stuff like that, people are seeing these super futuristic
Talking about Area 51?
Area 51 type stuff. Yeah. You know, government testing and people, we're just not used to that kind of technology.
Yeah.
So people see it.
There's a lot more going on than we know about.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, there's weird things.
Yeah.
And do you know much about the where did it happen in New Mexico? The first UFO. Where was it? At Roswell.
Yeah. Roswell.
Do you know much about that?
A little bit. I watched it.
What was the what's the story with
I
that?
don't know a whole lot about it.
Just that they found the crash or whatever site of this UFO.
Yeah.
Huh.
And it's a mystery about this alien. Wasn't there an alien in there?
I'm not sure on that.
Thought there was.
I'm
Maybe it's just a story.
Yeah, that's the thing. There's that when you're talking about this kind of stuff, there's always these way out there ones.
Yeah.
And then there's more like the Val Johnson one is one of the most credible ones that I've seen.
Yeah.
And so you see the two different variations where you have like way out there and then you have, you know, some that are super realistic. It's like hard for people to write about it without sounding crazy.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Have you ever found that to be an issue for talking about this kind of stuff where people look at you weird or
No.
Really?
No. But I don't talk about it much.
You don't talk about it much.
No.
Huh. So, okay. Well, I guess that I mean that's one of the things with doing journalism, you know. You're going to have people that believe you, you're going to have people that don't.
Yeah. You're gonna run into all kinds of reactions.
Yeah. Yeah. So, what are you writing about nowadays then for stuff going on?
News features the pandemic, I cover the Brown County Board. I cover city councils, I cover school boards, GFW, Sleepy Eye.
Okay. So kind of for the whole area.
Yeah.
Huh. You're not out looking for weird. If anyone's got any weird information, should they hit you up with it or contact you? If anyone's got any UFO sightings,
If they want.
they can ask.
Yeah.
Hit you up because I didn't know if you were looking for UFO stories.
Yeah,
You
if
know.
somebody's got something with evidence.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, this has been awesome. I really appreciate you coming with this stuff. If there's anything else that you have that you want to show us, this would be the time. If you got any
That's
other
about it.
information, that's about it. Okay. Well, thank you very much, Fritz.
Yep.
I'll put your link to do you have a page on New Ulm Journal where people can check out your stories?
Or you can just Google my name.
On the New Ulm Journal,
Yeah.
and they'll find it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. Well, thank you very much for coming out here tonight, talking to us. This has been great information, Colin. Thank you for producing. To everyone tuning in, next week we're going to be with a guy that chases tornadoes. So thank you very much for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe, leave us a review. We'll be back next week. This is the Clerc Podcast Show.